You're probably getting destroyed by Van DK and FC24, but that's because you probably don't have FUTTIES Van Nistelrooy. Or is it true? Because today we'll be finding out if this card is oranges, mid, or doo-doo. And I'll be letting you know that by the end of this video. But why should you listen to me? Well, I consistently get rank 1 and rank 2 in FUT Champions, so I believe I can help recommend you the best cards to use to help get you more wins and a fun card to just use. So first, in order to find out if this card is oranges, mid, or doo-doo, we're going to be breaking down all of his stats, from pace all the way down to his physicality. Then I'll be telling you some of the best ways to use this card so you know how to use the card to perform the best for you. But before we get into anything at all, if you need FUT coins, be sure to use code CV3 on U7Buy for 6% off. Link in the description or link in the comments for cheap and safe coins. So now, let's talk about his price. Now for me, using this Van Nistelrooy card with his pace, he's 6'2" and he's a biggity biggity. He's 6'2" and he's a biggity biggity. I was expecting more speed, but a lot of the center backs were catching up to him. A lot of the right backs and left backs, if he was trying to burst, he wasn't moving that fast. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm not gonna say he's the craziest with pace. Is this card a gem? We're about to find that out too. And the crazy part about it, he didn't feel that fast, having 98 pace and Rapido Plus. It's crazy, but I still think he has the ability to get him behind. It's not as consistent as I was expecting. Now what about his dribbling ability? This dude is what you call S tier, biggity biggity. But then there's some biggity biggities that can actually a little bit more responsively twist and turn. But let me tell you something about Van Nistelrooy. He is not one of them. This guy is the biggity biggities of biggity biggities. Cannot move. When I want to move this way, it's awkward, sluggish, clunky. He's moving like a madman, like, what are you doing? Turn, bozo. He's not turning for me. I couldn't believe it. He was very clunky and unresponsive with his dribbling ability. It's definitely probably because of his pretty low balance and agility. We moved. Dribbling ability was not the best for me. Shooting and clinicality ability. Now, obviously, this is a striker and an attacker. So if you get in the right position and you green time, for the most part, he will score. But he doesn't even have the finesse like Messi. Plus, he has the regular don't come my cellular, so he can score it. But you have to use more of the Trivela like Ella's with him because he has Trivela Plus. But I find myself having difficulty getting in that position to do that shot because of his dribbling ability. But there was one time I did a shot from a very odd angle, blasted it, and it went into the back of the net with good speed. So he still has good clinicality ability if you green time. So there's that. But now his defensive capabilities. This card, he has some pretty low defense with the 45 defense. But if you want that type of attacker that's gonna like press, don't give a damn on no damn defense, he's a striker. Now his passing ability. I ain't gonna lie. For the first time in a while, I saw some horrendous passing for a 90 base passing stat. He was passing it inaccurately, sending it right to the defense. I'm like, are you serious? Van Nistelrooy, where's the accuracy? Pass the ball. This guy was moving mad. He was passing it pretty inaccurately for a 90 passing. But I still think he can do a little bit of the short passes. He's not gonna give you the nice tiki-taka Barcelona. He's not gonna give you that. Even though he has tiki-taka playstyle, he was not moving like he had it. I couldn't believe it. And I played a good amount of games with this card. But now the physicality. Being a biggity biggity, you expect him to have more brute strength, right? But his physicality is only 88, being a biggity biggity. I found where there were times the defense still managed to body him off the pilota a little bit. The defender still managed to catch up to him and body him, throw him off the ball like it's nothing to him. So I'm like, Van Nistelrooy, do something. But it is what it is. He wasn't really doing that. But with all that being said, let's talk about the best ways to use Van Nistelrooy, because this card could still be a gem for his price. Even though he wasn't moving as fast, I still do suggest sending in them through balls with him while you have a good amount of space, and try to use the shield button while sprinting past the defense to body them a little bit because he has the bruiser playstyle. That might help a little bit using this card. I also suggest you, once you have a certain angle to shoot the ball using this card, use that power shot plus, because that's one of his main keys that are amazing with this card. That power shot is going to be very nice for you to use in certain angles. Also, I tested out his heading ability because he has power header, and let me tell you something. When he was doing the headers, they were coming off pretty fast and powerful, but for some reason the keepers kept finding a way to save it. Try and use headers with this guy. He doesn't have aerial though, but he has acrobat, so he can win in the air in certain odd ways. I believe that's the best way to use this card, kicking the ball in the air and leaving it there and letting him try to dunk it with the power header to see if you can score that way. Another way to use this card, if you're gonna play two strikers, play him on the right side as a right striker, just so you can have that angle of the Trivela like Ella, so it can go into the back of the net. Because if you're on the right side and try to turn in and cut in to hit the finesse like Messi, his dribbling is not the best. It won't be responsive for you to do that finesse, and the defense will clamp him up. You get me? So those were the few ways that you can use this Van Nistelrooy card. There's still some other ways, but I just gave you those. You can test them out yourself to see what works best for you with this card. But the question is now, is Van Nistelrooy wondrous, mid, or doo-doo? Now, for me, using this card, he had his moments. He scored some goals. The power headers were kind of nice at certain angles that I believe you can get more goal scoring opportunities that way. Or even a green time shot, it would go into the back of the net, and that's what you would want from a striker, right? For sure, for sure. But I have to make the decision. What is Van Nistelrooy? in FC24. For me, I classify Van Nistelrooy as straight up doo-doo with a name on it. Straight up doo-doo garbage card for me. I could not believe how garbage he was while using him. His dribbling ability was horrendous. If you want to get that angle, it's no point. Might as well use a different card because these defenders just make it more difficult. I felt like I was only playing with one striker while I had two strikers because JJ Okocha was carrying him. You get me? It is what it is. But wait, this might actually be one of the best strikers in the game. Find out if this card right here is wondrous, mid, or doo-doo. It could really help you. Adios.